Welcome to Weekend Movie Bros, where I am Jacob and that is Idiot.
I'm Ray.
He knows his name.
What a way to start the show.
Also, if you're having deja vu, well, that's because you're having deja vu. Yes, we've had season 4, episode 1 before, but here we are again because um, we fucking failed.
Yeah,
I feel like it was a mutual fail,
yeah.
but I will not lie. I'm going to take a lot of responsibility for that fail because I had many of opportune time to
And
record
I
those
kept
podcasts.
asking him
You,
routinely, hey, do you
hey,
want to
hey,
do the podcast?
and I
Hey,
kept
you want to do the
saying,
podcast?
"We'll do it the next day," and then the next day came, and I was just like, "You know what? No, no."
I had
And
to
now we're
I had to force the Amazing Spider-Man 2 commentary because I was like, you still want to do commentaries? You want to do commentaries still? Hey, buddy, you want to do
shut up.
commentaries?
He is lying through his fucking ass teeth. I want to punch him. God damn it. I saw his
So,
face enough. We watched Arcane together, and that was enough Zachary time for a week. And I just couldn't handle anymore. Now Arcane's over, so podcasts can come back. Isn't that so great?
but you also want to add Invincible to this list.
Yes, I would like to watch Invincible, but we'll
Do
figure out
you?
when. I do. I just don't have time,
But you
Podcasts,
know,
stop it. We'll get there. We will get there. Actually, you know what? Let's start there. How do we feel about Spider-Man? It's a very vague question, but
what is it?
there's a lot to talk about.
Yes, there is.
This is a loaded question.
Okay, so I don't know how we start this, to be honest.
Well,
So,
let's go chronologically in order.
well, no, not that. How the whole Spider-Man thing was going to go originally before it went the way it did.
What do you mean?
So we had originally planned, Jacob, together to do a
Oh,
a commentary series on Spider-Man together. That was the original plan leading up to No Way Home. But things started to happen and we couldn't do it, so we took it upon ourselves, each of us, to kind of figure out how we were going to do it. And then you literally bought them almost like what, 2 weeks ago now.
no, not even 2 weeks ago.
And since then we have now both, I mean, I've watched all of them now up to this point because I watched 2 of them back to back the same day. Then I've been
Whatever.
going through the rest of them. You got one more left after this one, then you're done.
Well, now technically, since I'm going the extra mile, I don't. I actually have a few more to go.
You don't have to watch those.
Zachary, if you want the full experience of where Peter Parker is at, yes, you do. And if you don't, you're not a true fan.
I watched all of his Infinity War scenes. I watched the ending of Endgame.
Well, then you're then you are. Did you watch Civil War?
Yes.
Did you? Okay, well then we're fine. I don't know why I came at you so hard for that. Honestly, I don't care. You can watch what you want to watch. It's not like you've never seen them before.
No, it's not like I don't remember exactly what
But
happened
to
in
be
those
honest with you,
movies.
it truly was an experience going from Civil War to Homecoming. So I highly recommend this
It's a
experience.
great time, man. Going from that, because because of how Homecoming opens with Peter
Yeah,
and Europe and stuff.
yeah,
It's a
it's a
great opening. Why?
great time.
Why?
But either way, we're not starting there. We're starting from the beginning.
So
Zachary, tell me your opinions and thoughts about Sam Raimi trilogy,
so
not
okay.
him.
So Jacob can attest to this. I do this all the time on this podcast. I go up and down nuts and bananas for Spider-Man #2. I have called Spider-Man 2 the best Spider-Man film of all time, up until about 2 years ago when another Spider-Man film came out called Into the Spider-Verse. But I still regard Spider-Man 2 as the best live-action Spider-Man film we have had. Going back and rewatching all these movies, I can clearly tell you guys right now that is not the case anymore. Um,
Excuse me. He made a factual error, and I wanted to correct him. Into the Spider-Verse actually came out almost 4 years ago. So
fuck me. Anyway,
just wanted to correct that.
thank you. I appreciate that. I genuinely do. But no,
You're
my
welcome.
favorite,
I'm sorry. I got
my
ahead of myself.
favorite Raimi film is Spider-Man.
All right, podcast is over. He is canceled. He is going home.
No, I'm. Let me explain myself here.
There is nothing to explain.
Hey, you're gonna rebuttal. I know you are.
Actually, what I'm gonna do is you're gonna talk, and I'm just gonna slowly mute myself.
No, you're not.
Oh, oh, it's like I'm Hawkeye. I had too much air damage.
Shut up. No, but when I sat down and rewatched Spider-Man, I was like, okay, the beginning of the film is not great. It doesn't hold up as well. You know, him running to the bus and all that kind of stuff. It didn't click because first of all, Tobey Maguire does not pass as a 16-year-old at all. It's a bunch of 40-year-olds in a school playing pretend. Exactly
But
what the
he's not
beginning of that
actually
movie.
16. He's probably more like 18 because they do graduate in that film.
Still, he doesn't play 18 well either. It's a bunch of 40 and 30-year-olds playing in a high school. That's exactly what the beginning of this movie is. But to me, the reason Spider-Man 1 is at the top of my list is not because of Tobey Maguire. It's not because of Kirsten Dunst. It's not because of James Franco. It's because of Willem Dafoe. That man is a tour de fucking force that entire film. I understand his motivations. His Green Goblin is satirical and yet menacing all at the same time. The jokes he makes before he kills somebody is very, very, very interesting. I mean, my favorite moment in any Spider-Man film is when he looks at the guys on top of the tower during the fiesta scene. He goes, "How about this, skeletons?" And just throws the pumpkin bomb, and the scene that genuinely shocks everybody when they watch it for the first time because you're not expecting skeletons to show up in this movie at all. And
Yeah,
and then
that was the experience. I do agree.
And then you get my favorite monologue from any Spider-Man villain besides Vulture's monologue in Homecoming, which is the talk on the rooftop with Spider-Man after he captures him. And, he talks about, how him and Spider-Man are the same. Like, that right now they treat you as a hero, but deep down, once they see you for who you really are, eventually they will turn on you. It's a great moment because it's the truth. All it takes is one moment for a hero to be snapped, and then the entire city turns on him. So what Green Goblin is saying makes sense. He's not saying it to be mean or anything. He's saying it to let them know, hey, they call you a hero right now, but all it'll take is one bad day for you to go, and then that's it. And how Willem Dafoe talks to himself, that entire scene of when he's talking to the mask, he's like, "Tell me how we get him at his heart," and it goes to the flames, and you go to Aunt May's house. It's just all of that works so well. And the ending to Spider-Man 1 is my favorite ending of any Ramy Trilogy movie. I love the bridge sequence, how heroic it makes Spider-Man out to be when New York all goes behind him and stands for Spider-Man, showing Green Goblin that he was wrong, that Spider-Man will always be the true hero of this city, and that this city will never give up on him, and he'll never give up on it. And then you get that fucking brutal fight in the warehouse between Goblin and Peter. And I love the fact that the first half of that fight, he just beats the ever-living shit out of him. It's so good. I love when you see because this is the one thing Holland doesn't do with his suits, and I don't know why Disney does this. They've done it with battle damage, everything on everybody else. I loved when Raimi's suit would just get destroyed and the mask would rip and you have like all these scratches on him. It looked visceral when it happened. And then you get that moment of, Godspeed, Spider-Man. Peter, don't tell Harry. You get that moment. And, it's such a good movie. It's such a good movie. But then you get to 2. And 2 to me, whereas the villain, again, is the strongest point, the rest of the film to me is boring. I am not invested at all in what's going on between Peter and MJ. I talked to you about this when we talked about them on the phone. I do not believe their relationship at all. I think it's honestly, it's one of the worst relationships in the superhero film I've seen ever, because it reminds me too much of close to home stuff where, he's trying too hard. She's still not getting it. He's trying too hard. She's still not getting it. Then he doesn't try hard enough. And then she's like, "Oh, it's okay though." And it's just back and forth and back and forth. She already had a man that loved her and she left him anyway at the altar, which to me is a dick move. She would
Not
have been
really.
happy.
It's not a dick move. She would not have been happy. I disagree with that bullshit.
No, I felt
Yes,
I
yes,
felt
I do.
okay. I felt more bad for Jameson's son in this movie than I did for Peter
Well,
because
yes,
Jameson.
you do feel bad for Jameson's son, but you would have felt worse if she would have stayed because she didn't love him. That's why my favorite scene out of that entire film is the kiss where she kisses him like she kissed Spider-Man and she realizes I can't do this. I don't love you. And that is my favorite scene in that entire movie.
But then obviously you have Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, who to me again very nuanced, very three dimensional. You understand where he's coming from. You know, it's not he doesn't want to do what he's doing. It's the arms that are controlling him. And so when you have that moment in the water, like, listen to me now, and the arms finally calm down, are back underneath his control. And you know, you have the great train sequence, which still holds up to this day. The train sequence is one of the best superhero moments in any film. And granted, I don't like the moment anymore when the train, you know, brings the kid down and puts Spider-Man on the ground. The kids give him the mask. I'm like, how many of you people went home and told your kids what happened today? How many of you? Like, how much of New York now goes, hey, if you guys see a random guy walking around with glasses on, it's probably Spider-Man, just to let you know. And I'm like, yeah, you know, New York, you love your Spider-Man, but you're not going to tell no one about that? Sure. Um, and then, of course, you get the reveal of Spider-Man to Harry, which again is a great acting moment from both of them. Like when Harry goes back, it genuinely feels, you know, like you feel bad for what happened, and it sets up a great arc for Harry. But then, you know, we get to Spider-Man 3, which is a piece of shit. I'm done with talking about Ramy's movies. I don't want to talk about Spider-Man 3. I don't want to talk about it. That movie's a piece of shit. It sucks. It's terrible. It butchers anything that had to do with the other two. It just sucks. There's nothing redeemable about it. I've really sat on that after I talked to you. Not even Sandman can redeem that movie. It's just a bad film. It's a bad film. So if I had to overall rate the Ramy trilogy, I'd give it probably a 7 out of 10. Like, the sum of its parts are good, but for me, the bad stuff outweighs the good. Like, for two good villains, you get the rest of mediocre stuff. It's just not. It didn't hold up. Of any older superhero films I've watched recently, that's not what I would go back to. I would go back to X-Men. I would go back to Blade. I would go back to, you know,
Batman
Batman
and
Begins.
Robin.
No, I go back to Batman Begins. I would go back to,
Batman and
you know,
Robin.
no, Batman Forever. I would go back to those movies. I
Robin.
would not watch Spider-Man the trilogy again. I think I finally put my nail in the coffin on that trilogy. It's done. Jacob, your thoughts on the Raimi trilogy?
Well, I'm not going to do a play-by-play because it takes too long. So, everybody give us out a round of applause to Zachary in the background, so you have context to anything I'm about to say. The first one was horrible. That's the first thing I'm going to say. I rated it 1.5 stars, 2 stars. It might have been 2 stars. And what did I didn't like about it? You know, what did I not like about this? Everything. You know, I didn't like anything. I mean, no. Tobey Maguire was he can't act. He can't act. He can't act, and they ask him to do a lot, and he can't do any of it. I didn't believe the relationship between him and Aunt May and Uncle Ben. I didn't believe his relationship with Kirsten Dunst, especially with the further background that we're supposed to have for the relationship going forward. That's never once addressed and or picked up on. She had much more chemistry with James Franco as Harry than she did with anybody else inside this franchise. But I also didn't like them together because Harry was kind of like a dick. But I kind of liked Harry. It was a weird time for me. Also, the tone was off. Certain moments it was really serious. Other moments it was really funny. Then you had people vaporizing into skeletons. It really was all over the place to the point where it was actually, in my opinion, unwatchable. Willem Dafoe he's fine. To be fair, I have seen Willem Dafoe do better.
I agree,
So he's fine. He
but he
does
stands out in
everything
a piss poor film.
he does everything he possibly can with the role that he is given. And you know what? Tons of respect. Spider-Man 2. Oh, what?
But I want to point something out though.
You got I didn't interrupt you.
Willem Dafoe begged for that role.
That's great. Moving on. Spider-Man 2. I did not interrupt you, Zachary. Keep your middle mouth shut. I could have interrupted you, but I didn't. Spider-Man 2 was superior. It is the most superior out of the three films. Zachary is wrong, and that is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, to be honest with you, everybody agrees. So, like, Zachary's just in his own little camp now.
And
He
that's
was in
fine.
this camp for such a long time. And he was like, bye. And now I'm over here. But, like,
For the
I don't
fact
give.
of how long it took me for you to get to watch this movie to see where I'm at now with it and where you are, yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is sad for you. So, Alfred Molina was exceptional. I loved his Doc Ock. I think he is probably my favorite Spider-Man villain out of them all. And I mean, in general, like, I think
Mm-hmm.
he is my favorite. I liked every iteration of Doc Ock that I have seen, animated, movie wise, comic book wise. I've always enjoyed him as a character, and I've always found him very interesting because he truly is a gray character. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do. It looks like he's probably looking to be a hero in the new one
We just
of
gotta
some
wait and see.
sort, something like that. And I could believe it. If they want to pull out this arc, I could see this arc coming out. So I'm okay with that. Let's see here. Also, I really like Kirsten Dunst in this. I don't believe the romance whatsoever. This is the first film where it's like, you always told me you'd be there. You always blah blah blah. You always. Yet he never talked to her until they were seniors in high school. So how could he always have been said that? How
Right.
there is no backup for like when we were children. You guys never talked when you were children. At least that's what you told me. You put the groundwork, stick to the groundwork. And I understand in the comics that's not the same. She grew up next to him in certain versions of the comics and stuff.
She
But we're
grew up
not
next
going
to
to
him in this movie, in this
no,
trilogy.
but the difference here is that they made it very clear that he could not say one word to her,
Mm-hmm.
like at all. That was a very clear point that they made in the first movie, and it was a bold choice, and they went back and regretted it by changing it, by retconning it in the other two. And I think that's what really ruined the relationship for me personally, is that there was so much in the background that we just did not get to see. And Spider-Man 2 is so heavily based on their relationship specifically. Like, that's basically what 96% of that story is. You have Doc Ock, and then you have
The
a mess of
relationship.
a relationship. And so if you don't believe the relationship, you don't really believe, half the story. Kirsten Dunst does a phenomenal job with the horrible role that she is given as MJ. It's truly horrible, and it never gets better. Also, please explain to me, and this has been annoying me for such
Mm-hmm.
a long time. I mean, I just finished these like 3 days ago, but it's been annoying me for a very long time, okay? So, why in the world, in the first movie, they're like, she's never going to be able to act. She needs acting lessons. Second movie starts, she's on Broadway, or she's really close to off Broadway or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big jump. That's a big jump. There's no development there whatsoever. Third movie is she's a horrible actress. Again, she's off Broadway. The development here, I never once understood. It confused me to the point where they put her in a jazz club. Let's talk about the third movie that Zachary's going to be quiet. We are. So this one had great potential, and I think that's the most infuriating thing about this movie is its potential. Because god damn it, it was high. It was so high. So Sandman should never have been in this movie. That was one of the characters that they wanted to put in here. That was a choice by Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire. That's one of their favorite villains. That's what they wanted to do. It was a mistake. Harry should have been the big bad. He should not have gotten Kamala Mija. That was a choice. And also, the VFX is the worst in Spider-Man 3, which I find funny because it came out the latest and cost the most. But the VFX were terrible. It
Spider-Man
was
2's
unwatchable.
VFX looks so much better than Spider-Man 3's.
The arms. The
Oh my-
arms. The arms. Spider-Man 1 also had terrible VFX, but that was only because of the glider, which I have seen since improve in like every sense of the word.
You
So
do
it's
know
okay.
the arms in Spider-Man 2 are practical, right? Those weren't CGI.
Yeah, sure, that's great. It was worth the money. Whatever they paid, it was worth the money. Spider-Man 3, trash. It was absolutely trash. It's unwatchable. If you ever put yourself through that type of pain, I feel bad for you, and you need to go seek help immediately. I guess I need to go seek help immediately, as I did put myself through that type of pain.
So since I started with the Ramy, you can start with the Garfield.
You mean my sexual awakening?
Yeah, that one.
That's what it is. I mean, so I've always said Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man. I have thought about it after rewatching these. I still believe he is my favorite Spider-Man. He is not my favorite Peter Parker. The same old conversation we had with Bruce Wayne to Batman, I think can be the same for Spider-Man. You can either have a great Spider-Man performance, because mostly it's some CGI due to mask, or you
Mhm.
have a great Peter Parker performance. I personally think Tom Holland's the best Peter Parker we've had, live action wise.
Mhm.
Best Peter Parker we've had, and Andrew Garfield's the best Spider-Man we've had in costume. He's the funniest, the quirks, the scene where he's hunting down the robbers and he's like, "Do you think I'm a cop in latex?" It's a great scene.
What
It's
is that?
beautiful.
That's a knife. That's my weakness. It's small knives. Don't get near me.
It's great. It's absolutely phenomenal. Emma Stone is so beautiful as his character. I love how they gave so much more depth to this love interest. She still is a love interest at heart, and she is playing that role. But there is more depth to this than the 3 films that Kirsten Dunst got in the writing. The scripts were also so much better. Like, so much better. The acting was so much better. Like, oh my god. And also, the villains were medium for both films.
Yes.
Lizard was fine. He was the knockoff version of Doc Ock. They couldn't do Doc Ock again because obviously they already did Doc Ock, and so they got the knockoff. And that's fine. You can have the knockoff. That's cool. And then the second movie, just literally, I don't know. Electro, what was that? Harry?
Would you call him in the commentary?
I can't remember.
Lapdog?
Lapdog. He is a lapdog. He's like literally looking up the tears. He is a lapdog. It's annoying. I actually like the score, so come at me. That's fine. You can do it. I think it's because when we watched the movie, I was listening to it at such a low rate that it didn't bother me. So maybe I recommend that way to go. Um, I really liked the second movie. The first movie, like I said, I enjoyed the whole arc. I enjoyed the death. I liked how there were stakes. It was also a lot more. It was a nice medium between the comedy and the seriousness, so I really liked that. And then with the second one, which we have a movie commentary to, so I don't want to talk too heavily on it.
Hmm.
And you guys are enjoying that. Thank you for watching. And I I really liked it. I really liked a lot of the visuals. The story in certain parts did fall, and I don't mind the fact that Gwen died. I thought it was a very interesting arc, and overall, I would say the similarities and the way it begins and the way it ends is quite touching. And where we leave Peter is excellent for a third movie that never happened because the second movie was a colossal failure. But that's fine. And Zachary, tell me your thoughts and opinions on Andrew
It's
Garfield. Oh,
crazy
also
to
Andrew
call,
Garfield, amazing.
it's crazy to call Amazing Spider-Man 2 a failure when it made $800 million at the box office, but it just showed that if you meddle too hard in a film, eventually it'll tank your movie. It was between 790 and 800 million worldwide.
Zachary's like, I know what he's doing.
Well, I know what you're doing because you always have to fact check me.
You have the fact. When you pull out actual facts I can check, yes, I'm going to fact check you. It's just the truth. Stop saying things I can check then, and then I won't be able to fact check you. Jesus. It's 708 million. Still a lot. That was his point. It was
But
pretty
again,
good.
it made that much money and was still considered a colossal failure.
I only opened with 90.
But still, again, it made that much money. And back then, it was considered a failure. That's, to me, it's very interesting.
I agree. That's
So
very touching.
we talked about it during the commentary. My favorite Aunt May is in these two movies. Sally
I
Field
forgot. Sorry.
is just, she's a treasure. She makes you feel comfortable. She makes you feel warm. She is definitely an aunt you would want to talk to. Like she's like, if you were in Peter's shoes, you would feel comfortable talking to her. Like she wouldn't make you feel bad about the choices that you made. She wouldn't make you feel bad about that. She would just sit down and talk to you. The Aunt May in the Ramy Trilogy would eat your throat for dinner. She was an aggressive old lady.
No opinions.
Also, I prefer Michael Sheen as Uncle Ben than I did the other actor. Granted, the other actor did really good in the Ramy trilogy, but I think Michael Sheen's Uncle Ben fit better with Garfield's Parker. So I'm not going to do this one shot by shot because I'm only going over the one film. We have a commentary to the other one. You guys can go watch that and see how we felt about that one. Amazing Spider-Man to me is my favorite live action Spider-Man film right now. It is my favorite live action Spider-Man film right now until tomorrow probably. I adore this film. From how it starts to the relationship between Peter and Gwen. Ralph Ians as the Lizard, to me, is not a knockoff of Doc Ock. He's a very different character. He, you know, I love the relationship and how it starts between Peter and Dr. Connors. I've always felt bad for the actor who played Dr. Connors in the Ramy trilogy because there wasn't always intentions to go that route with him for the Lizard. And, they never got to. So I felt like this was Sony's way of saying, you know what? We understand. We never dealt with one character in the Ramy trilogy. Here we go. Let's go ahead and make Kurt Connors the main antagonist for Spider-Man, which is also kind of nice because in the Spider-Man animated series, the Lizard was the first villain that Spider-Man fought. So, Lizard's always kind of known as being the first villain that you see Spider-Man fight besides Green Goblin. And so it was very cool to see. Now, I did not like his entire design. I wish the snout was a little bit bigger on the Lizard. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the design. I like the fact they have him in a trench coat for a little bit towards the end of the movie. One of my favorite scenes in any film is when Peter saves the kid from the car. And he's like, put the mask on. It'll give you hope. You'll be fine. Just wear the mask and we'll get you out of here. It's a genuine Spider-Man moment, and you don't get those a lot in Spider-Man movies because he doesn't have time to do that in the MCU because MCU. Here he had the time to be Spider-Man, and we had that other great moment in Main Spider-Man 2 when he fixes the pinwheel for the kid, and it's that kind of moment that makes you go, "That's Spider-Man." He makes you feel like Spider-Man, and I love the way he moved. Again, the car scene is one of the funniest scenes in any Spider-Man film. It's so good. I am against everybody else when they say they don't like the first suit from the Amazing Spider-Man 1. I love the first suit. It feels like something Peter would make. It feels real and tangible, like he could actually made the suit. But to me, the heart and soul of both these films is Gwen and Peter. That relationship is so beautifully done. It just, you feel it. And then you have Captain Stacy's death at the end, and it just adds more stakes. That's when we see them again in 2. I will leave 2 alone. You guys can go discuss that with us over on the commentary. All I will say is this. I didn't hate it this time. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. There were still things in that film I egregiously do not like, but I wasn't like going here like, can we just end the film now? Can we just be done? Can we be over with it? Can we be done? No? All right, fine. But now we are. But yeah, that's my overall opinion on the Garfield one. It would get a 9. I think Main Spider-Man 1 really helps that duology a lot. I love that movie to death. It's my favorite Spider-Man film right now.
So, for Tom Holland's versions of Spider-Man, we're actually skipping. Some people might find this
odd,
weird,
because No Way Home.
Because No Way Home does come out for us. I think this is coming out this weekend, but for us personally, it comes out tomorrow. Well, I'm not done with Homecoming yet on my rewatch. I have a lot of opinions. I personally don't want to get into an argument with my brother, as I'm sure some of my opinions will ignite his rage. And I'm more than
it's your opinion.
Oh yeah. Let's think about a phone conversation we had, Zachary. I have a feeling some opinions might ignite some people's rages, which is fine. That's cool. I'm curious the reasons, but it's fine. Either way, we are going to move on to Into the Spider-Verse because I did want to talk about the trailer for Into the Spider-Verse and then also,
Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, I mean, they know what I'm talking about, so whatever. And I'm going to hand off the mantle to Zachary for this one personally, as he has way more opinions about this than I do.
This is the greatest animated film of all time.
See what I mean?
There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. This is the greatest animated film of all time. I am a diehard Toy Story fan. I think this film is better than all 4 Toy Story films put together.
That's true.
I, I, I have no words to describe how much I love Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. This movie is
Which we also have a movie commentary.
commentary for. This movie is a masterpiece. There are no flaws. There are nothing. This movie is fucking perfect. All the way from Shameik Moore as Miles Morales to Jake Johnston as Peter B. Parker. We've got Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy. We've got Nicolas Cage, Spider-Man Noir. We've got John Mulaney as Spider-Ham. You've got Victor Creed, Sabretooth from the X-Men Origins Wolverine film. He has a show on Showtime. Oh crap, I forget his name. Liev Schreiber as Kingpin. Catherine Hahn as Doc Ock. One of the best Doc Ock's interpretations we've ever had. She's so good. One of the best Stan Lee cameos of all time. It makes me cry every fucking time, especially because the suit always fits for the right price. He looks at the no returns thing and winks. It's such a good moment. The music in the Spider-Verse is still played regularly on my phone. I love that album to death. Sunflower is one of the best songs ever made. Makes you feel good. Makes you ready to do a day. The fact that I don't want to see Miles in live action says a lot about this movie. That I now feel as though if they try to even remotely bring him in live action now, it just won't be the same because it's not going to be him. They nailed it. They nailed it. Mahershala Ali. I forgot to talk about Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali as the Prowler. Holy shit, Mahershala Ali as the Prowler. He's so good. It makes me happy to talk about him. The fact that I can say Mahershala Ali has been Cottonmouth, the Prowler, and now is Blade. He has made his way around the Marvel Universe, man. He's made his way around the Marvel Universe. I wonder if DC went to him and said, "You want to be something in DC?" Like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm pretty connected with this universe here.
What was your thoughts about the trailer?
So for Across the Spider-Verse, just picked up where we left off. It's beautiful. Gwen and Miles look older. And, we get that great moment of him going through the Spider-Verse. We get that great comic book world. And then you see Miguel, man. You see Miguel O'Hara. And I cannot wait for people to meet Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. He is one of the best Spider-Man we ever had. It's not a Peter Parker. His story is incredible. It's dark. It's depressing. It makes you want to hurt people. But it's such a good Spider-Man story. And I can't wait for people to meet him. I hope that movie does what it did for Miles Morales, which is just make you excited to go read a Miguel O'Hara comic book. He is so good. He's genuinely one of my favorite Spider-Man ever. I'm so excited. And the fact that we get a 2-part film, are you kidding me? Yes.
Are you ready to be wrecked like Infinity War all over again?
Oh, I'm ready, man. I am so ready. I'm ready for the ending of this movie to just fucking suck and break my heart and make me cry in a theater all over again. But I'm so ready, man. I'm so ready. Besides the Batman, Across the Spider-Verse is my second most anticipated film of the year. Besides the Batman. I'm so excited. I love that movie to death.
My opinions are in that movie commentary. I went into the Spider-Verse with very low expectations. I thought the trailers were sublime, meaning great. But I've seen a lot of animated films that year that were just the trailers were great, the movie was bad. The reviews were great, the movies were bad. Yeah, I guess that probably did come out that year, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had very low expectations. I went and saw it as a last minute thing. Zachary would not stop talking about it.
I saw it a week before it came out. I couldn't stop talking about it.
Zachary wouldn't stop talking about Bumblebee, so I actually did a duo.
And was I wrong?
You weren't wrong about either of those things. Shut up. They're great. They're both great. Actually, I've been really wanting to rewatch Bumblebee, so we should watch Bumblebee probably around Christmas. That'd be great.
Absolutely. I'm all down for that.
But I I really liked it. I was a huge fan. I have read many Miles Morales comic books since then, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with this character going forward in every medium that is. So, all right, that's Spider-Man. Zachary did want to add, if he wants to, this is his time to talk about what he thinks about No Way Home. I am not going to say shit, but that's only because I know so much about this movie, spoiler-wise. Like, damn, I really didn't want to know the one thing I know now. And it kind of pisses me off that I actually got spoiled for it by a non-spoiler. Don't you just hate when that happens? Oh,
Yeah.
wait. It doesn't happen to Zachary. It only happens to me. Normally, the night before I go see a movie. I don't know. Spider-Man 2, Far From Home, ring a bell. And credit scenes got leaked for that one as well. And bitch, I knew about those. I knew about Venoms. I knew, oh, it's really annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying. And that's my opinion right now is I'm annoyed.
You know
Excited,
why?
but annoyed.
You know why it doesn't happen to me? Because I don't use Twitter.
I don't get spoiled by Twitter. I get spoiled by a lot of shit. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.
But Twitter's notorious for it the most.
Yeah.
And so I stay off Twitter like the plague. But no, for me, talking about all these movies, watching all these films, you know, all the way back when we did the commentary for the Spider-Verse up to now, it makes me emotional knowing that I've been watching Spider-Man for 20 years. And, you know, I've practically seen every single Spider-Man film in theaters. And, you know, I get to go and see this movie tomorrow where I get to see all these people that I've grown up with and see where they are now. You know, I get to go see where Green Goblin would be if he survived. You know, I get to go see what happened with Doc Ock, you know. And I'm not going to talk about the two elephants in the room when it comes to this film because honestly, at this point, I don't care. Whether they're there or not, I don't care.
Like I said, we're not talking about just
This movie means as much to me as Endgame did. And I don't think I will ever be this excited again for another film. I genuinely don't think so. I will never be this excited again to talk about another movie. It's been a journey.
He says this, and then Doctor Strange 2's trailer drops, and he's like, damn it!
Listen, man, if that happens, Marvel is on a roll right now. I've heard that the trailer might be an end credit scene to this movie. I hope, but you know, I'm not gonna sit on that and saying that's gonna happen. But no, I'm so excited for tomorrow night. I got my ticket tonight, last second, but I got it. I'm gonna be there at 6:45 in the evening with a bunch of people to go watch a fucking film, and I'm very happy about it. What's next, Jake?
Oh, okay. Let me pick something.
Go for
Let's
it.
see here. Where do I want to go? There really isn't. We don't have a lot planned for today,
Not
which
really.
is great. Well, since we're still talking about Marvel and stuff, we can stay over on Disney for the minute. Disney Plus Day, I want to talk about in general. Not so much. We can talk about the Star Wars stuff. I don't really care about the animated stuff. So if you want to talk about that, we can.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to talk about the Marvel things. Obviously,
Absolutely.
there's a bunch of announcements and stuff. And I also wanted to talk about the debate that is rising about Disney and how they are releasing their content and when they're putting content on things and so forth and so forth.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you, it legit blew my mind when I looked at Disney Plus today. I was like, Ron's Gone Wrong is on Disney Plus already? When did that happen?
Ron's Gone Wrong. Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, because I've seen it on DVD release date is the important question here. Oh, interesting.
That's why I said, how's Ron's Gone Wrong on Disney Plus already?
So Ron's Gone Wrong Blu-ray deal was set for December 7th, and it got pushed to December 15th, which is not that abnormal. And today is December 15th, and as soon as they got released on Amazon Video on Demand and iTunes, it got put on.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, Eternals was also
January
posted on
12th.
January 12th. Well, no, I'm not talking about that. Not the Disney release date. Doesn't come out for Blu-ray until February.
Yeah.
So they're putting it on there when we would normally be getting it to buy for premium. I personally feel like I have such mixed thoughts and opinions about this. Like if you're making
Encanto should be the one we should be talking about. Not Eternal's not wrong. It's gone wrong. Encanto's been out for not even a month, and it's
yeah,
already going up on Disney Plus. That's the one that's insane to me.
let's see here. It's also not expected to come out until it's looking like
What?
February
February, March.
at the moment.
So again, it's been in.
Uh,
How long has it been in theaters right
February
now?
8th. It's going to be on Disney Plus for over a month before it gets released on Blu-ray.
When did it come out? Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving Day.
So it'll have been in theaters for a full month, and now it's back. It's on Disney Plus. What was Disney's turnaround window for it originally? Wasn't it supposed to be a 90-day turnaround?
No, 45 days is the new go-to.
So would that be in the 45-day window for it to go from theater to Disney Plus?
Here's the thing. It's so mixed bagged. If a movie does really bad, like horribly, like really, really horribly, for instance, Last Night in Soho is a great example of this. Last Night in Soho obviously was produced by Sony, so it had nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
So it got just directly released to like a theater rental. That was in theaters for 2 weekends, and then it got direct released to the public to rent for $20 and to buy for $25, which is insane to me. So actually, this is actually a bigger turnaround. And I was checking the numbers. It's not going to break even for 100 million. It's not going to hit that century mark on either international and domestic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably going to cap at around 155, 156, somewhere in between there. So it didn't do that well. Even last year, for instance, let's go to Croods 2. Croods 2, if I'm not mistaken, made over $300 million during the pandemic, and it had great legs. Yeah, 215 is what it was. And that is phenomenal for that film, for it only opening with $9 million. And that was because of its great legs. So Encanto is not, it's just not doing as well. I think the problem here is them putting it directly onto Disney Plus. They
Like
can
it's not.
release it for Christmas, but they should have released it for people to having to either rent for $20 or purchase or do something else like that instead of just putting it on Disney Plus for free. That's the big thing here, is for free.
Which means they're taking a loss on that one. They're not even going to attempt to try to do anything else with it.
And that is the same thing for Eternals, which comes out in January. They're doing the same exact thing. Eternals has not done well at the box office. It's going to be the lowest so far in the MCU, up there with Black Widow. It's at 396. I don't know where Black Widow sits. Also, Shang-Chi as well is in this ballpark. And that's not their fault. So it did beat Black Widow.
Shang-Chi is the highest
Yeah, I
grossing
think it's
3 MCU
400
movies right now. Yeah,
and something.
I think so.
Shang-Chi is sitting at 432. So that's the highest grossing so far during the pandemic. Black
Obviously,
Widow
it's going to be
is,
broken and destroyed tomorrow.
yeah, is my best guess. Because, like, with Spider-Man, the only thing that I'd say could probably stop that would be the RT score, but the RT score is 95%.
Well, it's not even just that. We didn't even really talk about this with Spider-Man. I don't even want to even bring it up. China. It's not getting a release at all in China.
Not yet. And sometimes that they won't come until months and months later. China is being very picky. And
Venom 2 hasn't had released or hasn't had a release yet in China either.
I have a strong feeling they're really pissed at Marvel for Simu Liu and Chloe Zhao, and that they're still trying to work out all their shit. is my best
But I
guess.
think it's still significant. So we're trying to
Oh yeah, for sure.
we're going on the fact that Spider-Man has to try to make $1 billion just domestically. I think he can do it, but we're trying to go on the fact that it has to do it domestically without any support from internationals.
Well,
Part of
no,
it.
there is a lot of international markets. China just happens to be one of the bigger markets, but it's not the biggest market for Spider-Man. Actually, the UK is the biggest market for Spider-Man, just like it is for James Bond. James Bond got a very late release in China. It did go to China, but it was very, very late to the party, and it still is to 800 million. Before it went, that was like really towards the end of China that got to 800 million. So I think that's something to keep in mind as well.
Mhm.
It could mean that the overall worldwide box office might not be as pretty as people are hoping for, like the 500 range,
Mhm.
because it doesn't have that China opening. But it does open simultaneously almost all weekend. I mean, it's opened right now. In our countries, they can go see it as of yesterday, and
Oh, believe me,
so
people know that. People know that
oh
because people are
yeah,
dicks.
yeah. YouTube, guys. YouTube. All right, let's actually move over to Disney Plus. Well, actually, Zachary, we didn't really. I guess we talked around it. It just pisses me off. I feel like if you're going to put it on Disney Plus early, it should be under a pay window.
I agree
For instance, Peacock did something really interesting
with
with
Halloween Kills.
Halloween. Halloween Kills is officially off of Peacock. It's out for Blu-ray. It's no longer on Peacock. I'm sure it'll eventually go back to Peacock, but it's gonna make its rounds. It's gonna go to different services, and there's also a director's cut that's
Mhm.
out for it. I tried doing a little bit of research on that. I couldn't find anything good, like it's juicy or anything. I couldn't find anything for it. And there's also an alternate ending if you buy the Blu-ray, which is a longer ending to the ending that we got, because I learned some information today that I don't know if I wanted to know, but I did know now about Halloween ends. So, fun facts. By the way, it's going to be released. It's such public knowledge. It's not even a spoiler.
I
Jesus
know, but it
Christ.
just always
Unless
seems to
you,
find you.
it does. And I was like, I was just looking. Just browsing. And boom, there it is. Alrighty. Let's talk about the first. What's your opinion? Sorry, I keep glossing over it.
No, I mean, I think Disney is also looking at how well, or well is a strong word, that the Disney Plus premium thing went for them over the past year and how well that didn't do at all for them. Granted, they made money off of it for sure, but I think the Black Widow thing really hurt their chances to do anything else with the premium thing. So they were like, listen, Encanto's not doing well. Eternals isn't doing well. They're kind of they're at a loss for us at right now to begin with. Why not just put them on Disney Plus right now? That way we can take the loss and we can still, get them out to people who haven't got the chance to go to the theaters. Like to put Encanto on there on Christmas Eve to me is a brilliant move
Yeah.
because Disney Plus will get a spike in viewership Christmas Eve evening now. A bunch of families will get together and watch Encanto Christmas Eve for sure.
I have friends who are like, oh, it's coming out on Christmas Eve. When it was coming out on Thanksgiving, they're like, we're just skipping it all together in theaters. There's no point. I'm gonna get to watch it for free on Christmas Eve, so I'm not gonna even risk it.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, yeah.
I understand from a business point of view why they did it. It just sucks when when you can clearly tell a company is just taking the loss and not
But
even going to try
I don't
to
know
fix
if
it.
that's the case or not. I think it is. I think there is a part of it being the case and things. I think it would have done really well on the ancillary market. But I think interestingly enough, okay, let's go back to Black Widow. Black Widow was the first time that they ever tried the day and date release and things, and it was on Disney Plus for, I want to say, a month for premium access, maybe a little bit longer than that. I'm not really sure. I can't
Wasn't Jungle
remember.
Cruise day and date release?
I'm talking about the first one. Jungle
Wasn't
Cruise came out.
Mulan?
Okay, I'm talking about the first actual one. Mulan does not count.
Yes, it does.
It does not count. We're talking about Black Widow here. That's the important one. Just, it's not Mulan. Okay.
I'm just trying to factually correct you in saying that Black Widow was not the first day and date release film. That's
So,
all I'm saying.
so basically, what we're going to talk about here, he is muted because his opinion doesn't matter. It did. And we're also going to talk about Shang-Chi as well. But with Black Widow, when it did get available to be able to buy, it did phenomenal in the charts. It was number 1 to 3 for several weeks. Shang-Chi is the exact opposite of Black Widow. Shang-Chi, which got released on November 12th to public audiences on Disney Plus, which was their first movie for this experiment, just like I would say like a week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago, got released to be able to purchase that movie on the ancillary market. It did horrible. It was number 5 or something. It's completely out of the top 10 now in almost every market that you can purchase things in. And I think that's very telling that people are like, no, we're going to watch it on Disney Plus. I have it. I'm not going to pay for it. And so I say, if you're going to play it on Disney Plus, you got to stop charging people $20, if not more. I think Shang-Chi was like $26 when I looked into purchasing it, because I did look into it and I thought to myself, no, that's fine. It wasn't Black Widow.
Yeah.
Which was the moral of the story. So I think that's very telling, and I think it's going to continue to be telling as we get further and further from the DVD releases. You know what I mean? Like, the further you release something early onto your service, the less likely a chance that's going to come out, unless you take it off the service like Peacock did. So maybe that's why I say they should do, is that once it comes out for, like a rental, you take it off Disney Plus, and then in a few months you put it back on. Like, it's like a nice little, hi, how you doing type of surprise, and then it's gone. Like, it's on there for a limited amount of time for free. You can still offer it, for free.
So
but
basically do what HBO Max did?
No, HBO Max, yeah, kind of. Yeah, like HBO Max. Yeah, see? Comes full circle.
But Jacob, do you want to look at how well that did for Warner Brothers?
But not day and date. I don't think you should do it day and date. No, I don't think that's part of the plan here. I'm just saying after the 30 days, you take it off. That's all I'm saying. Not the day and date.
I just want to make sure you were clarifying and saying you don't want that.
It's all good. No day and date. That was horrible. That was a bad idea.
Poor
Matrix is going to fail. So it's just what it is. Also, they're not promoting anything for the Matrix, so it doesn't matter. They're wanting it to fail, it seems like.
Anyway,
honestly, that's the vibe I'm getting. Either way, we'll talk about that soon.
So do you want to start with the Marvel stuff or the Star Wars stuff?
Well, I guess you can talk about the Star Wars stuff. There's only like 2 things.
No, it doesn't even feel like that. Star Wars stuff's a bunch of bullshit. Let's go to Marvel.
What was it? If we're going to talk about Disney Plus Day, I guess you should bring it up.
Star Wars was Book of Boba Fett getting its trailer 2 weeks before Disney Plus Day. I still don't understand why they released the Book of Boba Fett trailer almost 2 weeks in advance prior to Disney Plus Day happening. Made no sense, but hey, they did. And then the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing happened, which is exciting. I'm glad we got confirmation about Hayden, all that kind of stuff. Cool. But it wasn't a trailer. That's Star Wars. Let's go to Marvel, where they blew everyone's literal minds for about half an hour.
So with Marvel, they released a 14-minute Disney Plus thing on the app. 8 minutes of that, 9 minutes of that, maybe possibly, were of previous things, which is very typical Marvel. We all expected it. We all
previously on Marvel Studios,
essentially Disney Plus shows. Essentially, if you haven't watched them, that's a great catch up.
Well, no. What I love about that is that Kevin Feige is treating the MCU, not just the shows, but he's treating the MCU like a TV show. So previously on the MCU, this all happened. Here's what happened in the next episodes of the MCU, being Moon Knight, She-Hulk, all that.
All right. So, and then let's talk about them individually, what we thought, if we're excited for any of the properties that got trailers, and I'll run through the announcements as well that were announced at the very end. So the first one let's talk about is She-Hulk. She-Hulk has since got more information released from it from Disney Plus Day, because this is over, I want to say a month ago now.
November 12th.
Yeah, so over a month ago that this got announced. We got our first little teaser trailer, pretty cool, and we got the confirmation that she is completely CGI. So,
which is fine.
It's just very interesting to me because the promo that they released for, like the clips or whatever, she
didn't look CG.
She looked kind of bad. Like, that was my first takeaway, is that this is a bit questionable.
No, to me, the entire highlight of that little tease we got for She-Hulk was the ending where it looked like Bill Bixby's Incredible Hulk. It felt very 70s at the end when you see Bruce and
in the container.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
No. At the very end, and when you see Bruce and her in like these 70s get-ups, and he goes like all like 70s esque.
Oh, the what they're gonna do,
Yeah,
the looking at the camera stuff.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And now we know that she's gonna break the fourth wall.
Which is very She-Hulk.
I'm so excited for this show because
Yeah,
within She-Hulk we're gonna get answers about why is Bruce Bruce.
hopefully, maybe not. Who really?
Huh? 4 years?
Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, he's back. I muted your mic while that was going on. My favorite shot was by far the shot that I thought she was a Skrull in, and that is during the quick shots at the very end of where they were going through, like a rapid fire,
Yeah.
and she's in the dress, and you get to see part of her leg. I think that was the best She-Hulk. I like Tisa Minali a lot as an actress. She's a phenomenal actress.
Tatiana Maslany.
Thank you. I said it.
No, you said today.
No. I'll mute you, kid. And I like her and things, but it still just kind of pissed me off a little bit with the whole casting thing for this. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, it's fine. It's not going to ruin the show. I also am curious to see how what's her face from The Good Place
does as the villain.
As the villain. I think Zachary would think that she'd be a great villain.
Absolutely now.
So yeah, I think that's all good. All right, moving on to Moon Knight.
Oh my god.
I think personally Moon Knight had the best visuals out of all three of the things that we got.
Dude, the suit looks so good. It looks violent. It looks evil. It looks good.
Zachary likes it when people punch people. That is the moral of this conversation.
Listen, I watched Daredevil season 3 finale today just because I was in the mood. And I was like, I miss how violent those shows were when he beats the shit out of Kingpin in the end. It's so fun to watch. It's just a doy, headbutt. It's just so good. So I'm very excited for Moon Knight.
Once again, I'm excited. I think the costume looks fabulous. And I'm very curious to see what they do with the mental health stuff here. As I mentioned to Zachary, mental health with characters and stuff, you can see with Hawkeye even is becoming more and more apparent. They try to do
Spider-Man.
it. Yep. It is becoming more and more apparent. They try to do it a little bit earlier on. They realize, no, we're just not there yet. Iron Man, that type of thing, PTSD, which I think they did a moderate job with. They just couldn't go far enough. And now they're trying to go further, and I think it is helping. And so I'm curious to see Moon Knight, because that has a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see. Also, with the amount of people that he's probably going to murder in this TV show because of Moon Knight, I'm also curious to see how they're going to justify him as a hero and what that will mean. And that goes for, I want to say, almost everybody in this whole group of supernatural heroes
Marvel
that they're bringing in. Marvel Knights that they're bringing in. Thank you. I knew they had a title. Blade and so forth. How are they going to justify that these are the people we're supposed to be rooting for? And we're going to even talk about that in Hawkeye as the lines are starting to extremely fucking blur.
And what's also fascinating with Moon Knight is that they also announced that we're getting a Halloween special, not next year but the year after, called Werewolf by Night.
Yeah,
where they're where we will hopefully probably see Blade for the first time. Isn't Werewolf by Night, from what I've heard? Because that's where Blade was introduced, was in Werewolf by Night in the comics.
I don't know, because this probably now. Maybe if you would have said that 2 years ago, I would say, oh no, he's going to come out before then. But because of how messy the slate is now, it's very possible that he could show up there.
But no, Moon Knight looks so good. That final shot of him jumping over the building across the moon is so cool. I'm so excited for his.
And I mean, technically, if we want to get technical here, Blade is already inside the MCU.
Yes, if you really pay attention.
Yeah, you have to I mean, I had to Google it, but it's there. It's a thing.
I blew Jacob's smile. I said, like, did you hear his voice? Like, whose voice? Like, Blade's voice. He's like, what do you mean Blade's voice?
And then lastly, let's talk about Miss Marvel.
This disappointed me.
Miss Marvel, I think, has a few challenges up her sleeve. One of those being this cannot feel like a Disney Plus show. Not Disney Plus show, like
A
a
Disney Channel.
Disney Channel show. That's a big thing. The next thing is that they're changing our powers. This was since announced. Not fully what her powers are, so I'm not going to talk about it and things because it's not been fully announced. I do know, but
So
that's
do
not
I.
for me to share. Um, it's going to piss a lot of people off.
I
It's
agree.
the moral of the story. And so there is a lot of things against this TV show. The fact of, it follows a Pakistani family. A lot of people are mad about that because people are racist. It's just what it is. And it has a
Even
lot
though
of
Miss
things.
Marvel has been part of a Pakistani family for almost half a decade. But people can still be people.
And it's going to be really interesting. And I'm very curious to see what it's going to do. I just think everything that we've seen from set weeks to this have just been really poor.
Mm-hmm.
And the casting overall has been really poor. It's also been a lot of hate fire as well. We'll see how this goes. We know she has a life beyond this because of, the
The
Marvels and
Marvels.
stuff. And maybe she'll be better there. And maybe it's just the team just don't understand her. We'll see. That's my opinion. I think it's a mixed bag for me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
And it could be her age though as well, because she's so young that it feels very Disney Channel like.
This to me was the most disappointing of the 3 live action shows we got to see, simply because it doesn't feel Marvel at all. Like it felt like a Disney Channel movie,
Oh yeah.
and that's not what I was expecting from Miss Marvel at all. Like, like what she stands for some people, I was hoping for a little more respect when it came to that,
I
but it felt
also
very cheap. It felt very cheap.
I have to agree. I think this needs a very big budget to stand out. I also think that they probably should have went for an older cast as
I
well.
understand why they went for a younger Kamala Khan, but aging or Marvel's been very, 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 very liberal when it comes to what they do with these stories. They could have aged her up to a teenager, and it would have been fine. Like no one would have been upset about it.
I mean, she's probably like 16 or 17 in the game.
Yeah.
She's
So
not
again,
very it's not like it's never been done.
she
And
starts.
there's sorry, you're good. I keep interrupting. It's my fault.
She's like 10 or 12 when the game starts, but when you get to play her in the game, she's like
Yeah.
16 or 17. So I don't know. It's weird.
And also, just last thing before we can move on to the big, the rapid announcements and stuff, is there's a lot of heavy storylines that the books do deal with, um, within racism to homophobia and a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't know if it's gonna have it. I do know that the gay characters that are part of the comics are still a part of this and are still gonna be gay characters and stuff. But I just don't know if it's gonna go as deep as the comics do, which makes the comics so special in my opinion, and which is why Kamala Khan, she has been presented to a lot of people through the video game and other stuff, have kind of pissed me off because it wasn't a great representation, in my opinion,
I
of
agree.
the character. So still don't think it is.
Do you think the show will have a make or break if Monica or Captain Marvel don't show up?
I do agree. I think Captain Marvel should be in the first episode. I don't think this is something we should hide until the end.
No.
I'm really happy that the TV shows have learned, though, with WandaVision,
Yeah.
that if you're going to go there, you got to fucking go there. So I really hope they realize that they have to go there.
I think of all the shows, I think Hawkeye, specifically with today's episode, got that, understood it, and made it realize, okay, we can't just hide around the bushes anymore. If we say something, we just got to throw it out there and say it.
So, in quick rapid fire, as we do need to move on to Hawkeye, I don't think we're going to get to the one story, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it, and
That's
that's
fine.
okay. I think you know what story that is.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. So, what if season 2 got greenlit? I'm
Hey,
not really.
let's do approve or disapprove. Random things. Let's do this really quickly. We got
Oh,
this.
okay. Sure.
So, what if season 2? Next one.
Very, very mixed opinions. That was already announced, though. So, continuing down the list, Marvel Zombies got greenlit through this as well, which I'm gonna go with the mixed bag here, just because the episode was such a mixed bag, in my opinion.
To clarify, this is not the what if Marvel Zombies thing. This is a completely different thing.
I'm just talking about their first iteration of Marvel Zombies was such a mixed bag, so I'm
Listen,
giving it
that
a mixed
logo made me a lot more happier than what they did with What If.
Spider-Man freshman year. This is his origin story. It's also getting a mixed bag for me. It is animated, so I do like that better, but I'm a little bit over him being in high school. That's where I'm at. I like him when he's older. So just going backwards in time at all kind of just upsets me. Also, I do hope Tom Holland does come through to voice the character,
I'm sure he will.
as I do think they could do a younger peer with his voice. Or maybe get one of his younger brothers who are actors and stuff into it. Something along those lines I think would be really nice. And things. X-Men 97 coming back. And that gets an approve. Zachary is very excited about this.
Dude. I'm so excited. I'm rewatching the X-Men animated series as we speak.
Agatha House of Harkness. That gets a major approve. That obviously had the title announcement that had been announced
I love
a
the
few weeks
title.
prior. Ironheart, which has already been announced, but we're going to talk about it again. Going to give an approve.
I'm ready for Riri.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with this. It did get a new logo as well, which was
I
really
think
nice.
we'll get our first look at Riri in Armor Wars.
Yeah, it depends on which one comes first. I do think Armor Wars should probably come first.
Armor Wars will come first because Armor Wars has been announced for almost a year now. So I think Armor Wars will probably come first.
Well, wait and see. And then Secret Invasion, which I really liked. I like the way.
Oh, dude, he looks so cool.
I'm curious to see what that's about. Echo.
After everything we've seen so far, yeah.
That is totally going to be a Daredevil backdoor, but that's fine.
Hey, listen.
I'll take what I can get.
Listen, she's one of the best characters we've gotten in the MCU in a while. I love her. I love Maya a lot.
Then we also have I Am Groot, which is going to be little shorts, such as like Forky. I'm assuming it's probably going to be on the lines, and I think that's a smart, really idea.
It's a great way to use Groot.
And then, of course, they also have the Guardians Galaxy Holiday Special.
It's an important part to the MCU. It's an important part to the MCU. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say.
And that, my friend, is Marvel's Disney Plus Day. Like I said, we also got Tatiana's, got some artwork, which was really nice as well for animated side.
Baymax, man. Baymax looks so good.
They also got a little bit more information about Zootopia. We also
that one shocked me the most the entire day. I did not know a Zootopia show was coming. That made me very, very, very excited.
I knew about Baymax. I didn't know about Zootopia. I've known about for a long time. Those are shorts. They're going to be between 5 to 6 minutes long.
Listen, if none of you have watched the Up shorts about the dog, I have all hopes in these on all these short shows because
Tatiana is supposed to be longer,
which is fine.
Anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes is what I've been hearing. And Baymax, I have a feeling, is probably going to be more under the lines of the shorter stuff.
Which is fine.
My best guess.
I think
I
really hope the Baymax stuff is holding us over and they announce Big Hero 6 too soon. That's what I'm hoping this means.
You can hope for it, Zachary, but I don't know if it's coming.
Oh, I want it.
All right. Before we move on to the obvious eye in the room, let's jump over we'll go through our last two segments and then we'll talk about the big thing and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to talk about is just random shit for 5 minutes, but hold on. Just talk to yourself.
Hello.
Say hi. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Are you
pretty good show so far?
I agree. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. go.
So, Jacob, you've been playing some Spider-Man on PS5. How you liking it today?
Oh my god, it's fucking phenomenal.
I
Also,
told you.
if you want to see me play it, you totally can.
Hey, Jacob,
Twitch.tv
right?
forward slash
Yeah,
Jacob TRYT.
yeah, Jacob. This is the time to promote the shit we can't promote during the show. So,
Yeah.
Jacob, where can they watch you play Spider-Man on PS5?
Yeah,
Say
like
it
I
louder
said,
for them to hear.
twitch.tv forward slash Jacob is here YT. Also, I'm pretty sure after I get done with the game, they're going to be uploaded over onto my actual YouTube channel. It's the next game I'm going to do for The Last of Us because I love it so much that I think I want to share it with a wider audience because it's so fucking good.
So while you've been whipping people away, I've been blasting fucking grunts away, dude. Halo Infinite is so fucking good. Jacob heard me earlier. I was in a really intense free for all match, and dude, it went down to the fucking wire. It was overtime, only 20 kills per match, but we went all the way to 25, and I still kicked that guy's ass. It was such a good time. I'm playing the shit out of the campaign. Really good. Halo is back in every way, shape, and form, and I absolutely adore it. Cowboy Bebop got canceled. How do you feel about that?
Well, I really wish I could say that I'm sad. No, I don't. You're right. Yeah, it was trash. I didn't watch the. Now, you know what? I take it back. I'm not gonna say it's trash because I didn't do what I say where I want to say it's trash. I couldn't make it 3 episodes, so
I
I
did.
think that's very telling. Um, and things I did look up all the controversial stuff that people are like, "This is wrong," and I was curious, so I did look up
Okay.
all the clips for that stuff.
To keep on Cowboy Bebop for a second, I want to talk about something a little different when it comes to this show. In the final episode of Cowboy Bebop, they introduced a character called Mick. It's this little girl, like 10 years old. And in the cartoon, she's very, in the anime, sorry, she's very prominent. And they revealed her at the very end of the show. And it's this new actress. Her first role ever was in this show. And people are just people to her. And I want to take this personal time to explain to you people, grow the fuck up. It's a 10-year-old kid. It's her first role. You know, give her a minute. She had like 2 minutes to do something with the role. And you guys have decided, to send this poor little girl death threats and all this fucking nonsense. We've been dealing with this bullshit for way longer than we should. This should have ended forever ago. And it hurts me. And I can probably assume this as well for my brother. That it hurts us as film fans that we still have to deal with this kind of shit, and we can't be respectful, and not be like this. So again, I'm going to say this to you all: fuck you if you're going to be mean to her, and if you're going to do that, then don't watch. Don't voice your opinion if you're going to be mad. That's all I gotta say. It was very aggravated when that happened.
Zachary, hot topic again. How'd you feel about the trailer for Fantastic Beasts and where to find them?
Good fucking God. Okay.
Now, you only have like 30 seconds to talk about it, so
What
do
did
a
you
rapid
think?
fire answer.
Rapid fire answer real quick. What you think?
I'm not watching it. I'm not supporting Harry Potter. I've talked about this before. I might watch the HBO Max thing just because nostalgia is really a bitch, but I am not watching this third movie. The second movie was horrible. It doesn't deserve to be watched anyways, even if J.K. Rowling isn't a bitch, but she is.
You know why I'm not going to go see Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore? Because I still haven't fucking seen Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. I still haven't seen the second one. So therefore,
Okay.
I'm okay. And also, by the way,
that's fair.
Don't be mean to Mads Mikkelsen. The man got put in a very shitty situation, and he's doing the best he can with what he gave him. So I'm not mad at Mads Mikkelsen. He was given a shitty thing to do.
I mean,
so,
he could have turned it down.
He could have turned it down,
no.
absolutely. So he understood what he was going into, but he didn't deserve all the hate he's getting right now. It's just it's a poor circumstantial decision. However, Disney is going to watch this film with the eye of a tiger, because this will determine whether or not they get good old Captain Jack Sparrow back for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Probably. Yeah, I feel like if you fired him off of that, you should have probably fired Amber Heard off of Aquaman as well, just to even it out.
But
we talked about the reasons why they probably couldn't do that, but it really is becoming a big problem. Okay, that would be the timer. The timer is over,
I
which
love
is
that. I
great.
love that segment.
Just it's new. It's a new segment. It was announced. I'm sorry. I should talk about it. We talk about random shit for 5 minutes. We have this thing where and this on this on this podcast that we like to stay in a focused line of sight.
Mhm.
Now, like Disney Plus Day, we went in a lot of different directions with it, but it was all centered around one very common focus: Disney
Right.
Plus. Well, I just use Disney Plus Day as the main headline, and so forth and so forth. We do that a lot, but we do like to stay in our same circle, of things. And so, random shit for 5 minutes means Zachary can ask me about a video game, and that's fine. It truly is random shit for 5 minutes. So that is what that segment is. I know
It's
that's
a
a very
great
long.
segment. I'm glad you brought it into the show. And if it does well with folks, maybe we'll extend it. If you guys really like what we
Yeah,
talk about in that segment, let us know, and we'll keep talking about it for sure.
yeah. And if you really like it and you think it should be longer, we would love to know in the comments on our YouTube channel how long do you think it should be if you want to tell us.
How much random shit do you want to hear?
Truly a good question. 7 minutes? 8 minutes?
A
40
minute?
minutes? I mean, I guess you could go down. That is
You
true.
could.
I was kind of hoping that they would like it, but Zachary's a bitch. It's
We
fine.
have to make sure we're in the middle there.
All right, before we talk about the weekend box office, I would just like to mention some release date changes for domestic wise. It's not pulled up yet. I'm just gonna read them out to you.
No, I just
And
want to say something real quick from you and me. It is now 12:31, Jacob. Today is Thursday, December 16th.
yeah, yes it is.
Today is the day, Jake.
Why did I just start to panic? On that note, I'm gonna jump back over here to what I was talking about before, which is release schedule changes. A thing we've not talked about in a long time, but release dates are changing. So let's talk about it.
But it's nice to talk about it in a post-pandemic era and go, hey, it's not because of the pandemic. It's just because they have to, things happen.
We are very much still in a pandemic. Omicron is a thing.
You know what I mean?
I do understand. These are not moving, hopefully, because of the pandemic. Maybe. We don't know. It's fine. Okay. So, Legally Blonde 3 was the first one that caught my attention. And
Wait,
that
there's a
was.
Legally Blonde 3?
Yes, that's been announced for a long time now. It's supposed to come out in May of next year. It's now removed off the schedule altogether.
Probably
Ambulance.
not happening.
No, I'm pretty sure it's already filmed, actually, if I'm not mistaken, or she was getting ready to start filming it. They're
Probably go to
really
a streaming
short
service.
shoots. Huh?
It'll probably go to a streaming service. I'm predicting that here.
Ambulance, the new Michael Bay movie, which I thought was a pretty fine trailer. I'll go see it. I get it. It's fine. It has now moved from February 18th to April 8th, which I thought was a pretty big jump.
Dude, that's a bold move.
It is a bold move. Bullet Train, which used to reside on April 8th, now moved to July 15th, which is just sad for us. That movie sounds so good. That's the Joey King one, the Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like where they're on a train and they're fighting. It's gonna be good, or it could be horrible. Maybe that's why they moved it. Who knows? You never know. Fast and Furious 10 also got a move from April 7th to May 19th.
Okay, that's not bad.
I'm assuming they have production stuff they still have to get done. That's not until 2023, guys, so don't get excited. That's not next year. Don't get excited. Deepwater got removed and moved to Hulu, which is the Ben Affleck and
Jennifer Lopez.
No. What the fuck is her name?
Oh, Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas. They're thriller.
The movie they shot together where they were a couple, and then it slowly got, no one talks about it anymore because they're not a couple anymore. That movie.
Yeah, that movie. Yeah. So it got removed completely. It's supposed to come out January 14th. I was pretty excited to go see it, actually. It's a sexy thriller. And
now you can watch it at home on Hulu.
Yeah, now it's gonna be on Hulu. So sorry, people who out there. That actually got removed off the list because of West Side Story. Fun fact. because of how horrible West Side Story did. They removed it. They say adult entertainment was what Fox came out and said, like the team over there on Disney, 20th Century. Adults don't want to be entertained anymore. That's what they said. And so they
Yeah,
took it off
tell
the
that
thing.
to the 200 million people going to go see Spider-Man today.
Yeah, but this is like a thriller. Like, this is a different type of audience.
But still, it's adults.
We'll talk about it. And then also Rumble is now available to watch at home on
Jacob,
Paramount
do you
Plus.
know what Rumble is?
Sadly.
Remember that
Rumble.
trailer we saw during a movie? And we were like, huh, that's an interesting film.
Fun fact, I saw Rumble all the way back pre-pandemic.
Oh, I know.
Back in January of 2020, where I was sitting there, and it was a kids movie. I couldn't tell you what kids movie, but I was sitting there watching a kids movie. It was an early access screening that I went and saw for something. Onward? It might have been Onward. I don't know. Maybe it was Sonic. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. And this trailer popped up, and I was like, okay, what's this? It has a pretty cool intro. I got this. It's going to be good. And then it wasn't good. It was actually horrible. And then it said it had a release date. And even back then, before everything started going to streaming, I thought to myself, wouldn't that be a great streaming movie? And that just says everything. And now it is. Now it is. It's actually on Paramount
as we speak.
Literally. Right now. I don't know why you would. Oh, damn it.
What?
Fucking damn it. So Cyrano, I don't know. Do you know what that is? Okay, so it's this new musical coming out with Peter Dinklage and.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it was supposed to come out on December 31st, and now it's coming out January 21st, which is not that big of a jump. But I wanted to go see it for my birthday because I think it'd be a great cry fest, and I'm going to be crying.
And by the way, Peter Dinklage can fucking sing.
Yeah, we all knew. You didn't know, but we knew. All right, that's all with one. Squiggly Blonde caught my attention, and Ambulance, obviously, because I was looking. Ambulance looks like it'd be a fun time, and well, it comes out in April. Who knows? I might not want to see it by then. So, what a window. All right, hey, let's talk about the box office.
Not a lot happened.
Well, I mean, we had some box office bombs, such as West Side Story. It did come in as number one, but it was a box office bomb. I have a few theories of reasons why this is. One of those being, I just don't think general audience wants to watch this movie. Ha, Steven Spielberg. Ha on you.
Why are you laughing at the man we really like this directing?
Because he says such horrible, faded shit that it pisses me off. Great director, though. Oh my god. The camera work in this movie is you would study these shots in like a film school. That's how beautiful this movie is. Highly recommend. Except for one common thing, and that is Ansel Elgort. I personally feel like this would have done better if he was in this movie.
Let's not talk about that.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying the reasons why. So that was number one. It made $10 million opening weekend. Zachary, what was number two?
Encanto. Speaking of Encanto.
Came in with what?
I can't see.
You can't see. Well, let me make it bigger, and then you can see. How's that?
That's better. Encanto made $9,985,000. $985,099 with a total gross of $71 million.
And the drop was only a nice fair 24% in its third weekend.
But look at number three, baby. They are still kicking.
Number three, this is actually a big weekend for Ghostbusters Afterlife as they officially hit the century mark this past weekend. And
good on them, man. It's such a good movie.
Not a lot of movies did. I had mixed opinions about Ghostbusters Afterlife, but in everybody's defense, this movie's defense specifically, I did not rewatch the first one. Should have done that. And then I wouldn't have.
What did I tell you?
I get that. And I probably wouldn't have been as what the fuck? Yeah. The whole time. It was an experience.
I love Ghostbusters Afterlife.
It also only fell 31% in its weekend.
Oh, poor House of Gucci.
House of Gucci, however, not doing the best.
The lowest drop is at number 8.
What?
The next lowest
No?
the next lowest number is 70%.
Huh? How is that a low number, Zachary? The next low number is 23%.
No, like the next biggest number you see is 70.
That's big. You keep saying low.
Sorry, the next big number you see is 70.
Yes, that does make that's very true. But House of Gucci, back to House of Gucci. I don't know why he just jumped the gun there, but damn, okay. I don't need to talk. Came in with $4 million, and it actually has made progressively a good amount of money. Lady Gaga is on the train to possibly win the Oscar. We will see. I don't think so, but she could get nominated again. That'd be nice. She is the only thing that should get nominated for that movie. Well, maybe Adam Driver, but it's fine. And it fell at 41% in its next weekend, and the issue, it did so much better than The Last Duel. Like, which just shows you that maybe Matt Damon is not the biggest star power as he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lady Gaga brought in 41 million. Lady Gaga. And yes, when polled opening weekend, who saw this most? The monsters. At 80% of audience were monsters. That's Lady Gaga's name for her minions. Zachary, what is number 5?
Number 5 is the
A yawn.
Turtles.
They're turtles? Oh my god, there was a movie about turtles. I didn't go see the movie about turtles. Oh, I gotta cancel my plans for tomorrow and just go see the movie about turtles.
Eternals.
There we go.
It dropped 23%. It made $3 million this past weekend with a gross of $161 million. So,
To be honest,
yeah.
that's pretty good. Like in today's day and age right now, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I
You
still
know?
enjoy the movie.
Domestically, it kind of failed. But I do have a strong feeling this shit's going to blow up real big. Like, it's going to blow up huge based on some fan bases that have grown from Eternals. I do have a feeling that the second Eternals, which we should be getting, I have a feeling we probably will get, it should probably do significantly better than the first one. I have a very strong feeling about.
I agree. Jacob, what's next?
Sadly, the movie Sony set out to kill, and it succeeded. And that is Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, which has made $1.6 million this weekend with a 38.2% drop. That's not too bad for a blockbuster, and it has grossed a whopping total of $15 million, with probably a budget of 9. Hopefully.
Yeah, we're not getting a sequel.
Probably not. No.
And it's such a shame, too.
Hold on. What's your over? Oh, yeah. No, it's not looking great. It's not looking great anywhere on this list of lists. But that I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a feeling it would have probably done better in January, and Sony killed it because they had bigger movies to promote.
And Resident Evil was good too.
I mean, it was a fine. Actually, you know what? I fucking love that movie. I'm not gonna hide it.
Good.
Yeah.
We had a great time watching that movie.
Yeah, should have probably went and saw it again before Spider-Man came out, and now it's gone for good. But you know, you win some, you lose some.
Hey, look, the Big Red Dog did crappy.
Big red crap. Sorry, Quiver, the Big Red Dog. How much? What was that crap? You tell me about the shit.
It made 1.3 million, dropped 30%, and grossed 47 million. Man, this movie sucks.
But it did premiere day and date on Paramount, and I do wonder how well it did over there.
Yeah.
Because that's how I watched it, and that's how you should watch it as well. Number 8 is actually a fascinating one, and this is Christmas with the Chosen, The Messengers. So this is 1.2 with a 70% drop with a 13 million total, but this is a Fathom event, which means that 13 million actually is a very impressive number.
Yes.
On a normal event, that'd be a horrible number, i.e. Resident Evil. On this, oh my god. This right here, Christmas of the Chosen, is rumored to only have been made for like $600,000.
It made its money back.
And then some. It's still making its money back.
Oh,
That 1.2 made its money back. And so with that, but it's all fundraised. They cloud raised everything. They kickstarted everything for that project. It was a
That's
TV
awesome.
show that was kickstarted. They raised over $50 million for 2 seasons
Good
for
for them.
Kickstart. If that's not telling you that religion is a cult, I don't know what is. Sorry, I just had to say it. Exactly what is Dune?
Speaking of religional cults, Dune.
Oh my god, that's true. I like it.
It made $870,000 this past week on 948 theaters, and it's made almost 100. It's crossed the century mark. It's at 106 million. Good for no.
No, this is actually great news. I know it doesn't seem like great news, but this is great news. Crossing the century mark is a big deal right now in the pandemic world. You know, you could be like Venom or No Time to, it's fine. But 100 is great. You know, you don't have to go for the big numbers. You can go for the small ones. And I think this did pretty well. Let's see how well it's doing overseas. Yeah, that's a moderate intake. I think the sequel will do amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a perfectly good film. I think it probably did really well on HBO Max, which is great. And yeah, really well received. Also, could be a possible Oscar contender. I do have a strong feeling he'll be up for Best Picture this year. And that right alone will grant its sequel, even if nothing else does. So it's all good. Don't worry
And
about
then
Dune.
there's the fact that before we talk about number 10, this movie's out now. You can buy it. And yet 768,000 people still would decide to go see this in the theater.
I still have this at my theater. I don't even have Dune. I still have Venom. Like, as of right now, there is one showtime today because of Spider-Man, but it's still there. You could go see Venom and then Spider-Man.
What a time to be good for Venom, man.
11 weeks. Gosh, could you remember the days when they used to say like 15, 18 weeks in the top 10? The days that will never be.
How much is it made overall?
For the grand total, I think it's in maybe about to hit almost the 500.
Good for it, man.
Nothing like No Time to Die though. No Time to Die.
Good God.
It's doing real nice. Like,
I did not know that number.
It's doing so much better than for instance,
than anybody anticipated.
Well, yes. Actually, a lot of people thought this was going to be the lowest movie of the year, but it's doing so much better than Fast 9, which was its original top holder. It's now the number 1 grossing movie of the year because we don't count China movies.
Listen,
sorry,
man,
guys.
I'm so happy for it. No Time to Die is such a good movie.
Well, it's not I don't know. I kind of want to watch it without without going through the pain of watching it. You know what I mean?
No.
Okay. Without having to put myself through what I put myself to go see this movie. Honestly, I just want to watch the Ana de Armas scenes.
You're so good. And that's the top 10.
And that, my friend, is the weekend box office. All right, Zachary. It's the moment of truth. The time we've all been waiting for.
Time to pull this out of the quiver.
No, it did not work.
Shoot it to our viewers. Yeah, make sure that says the big word spoiler in there.
What?
Make sure that says Hawkeye spoiler review.
We're not talking spoilers.
What?
I'm joking.
I can't hold my tongue for this. Are you nuts?
Well, I guess I could unmute you. Hawkeye's great. Go watch Hawkeye. There.
Hawkeye's fucking fantastic. Go watch Hawkeye. So, I want to start this off first because I have a love-hate relationship with this show. You don't. When this show, so I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm not going to lie to you. I was not on board for this show. At all.
He's a fucking idiot.
I thought the first 2 episodes were poor. I
have to come back.
I don't understand what the tone was for this show when it started. It was very jokey. It tried to be very, very funny when some of the jokes just didn't land, but the heart was there. And then episode 3 happened. And it was like, okay, all my problems are gone. Hawkeye is one of the best MCU shows on Disney Plus. because the banter between these two is just beautiful. There are some great heartfelt moments in this show, some just devastating moments I'm never going to forget watching for the first time. You know, Maya's origin killed me.
Did you not know about Maya's origin?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
So yeah,
honestly, I mean, on a side note though, but like the TV show actually made it better.
it did.
It wasn't as I don't know, I mean, it made it much more happier than what it actually was. Was the moral of that conversation? Anyway, Zachary,
But
continue.
I want Jacob to start with this show first because of the two of us, he's definitely more. Yeah, Jacob, you start, and that's Jake's opinion.
You killed me. So
Now, look at me. You can't just start with what you want to start with. You have to start with the rest of the show first.
I'm getting there. So, out of all the TV shows, there were 2 TV shows that were announced that I looked at Zachary the day that they were announced, and I was like, those are my top 2 favorite TV shows of Disney Plus. And what were those 2 TV shows, Zachary?
WandaVision and Hawkeye.
There we go. I got WandaVision right and early. It was great. WandaVision is fabulous. I still rewatch that shit, and that means something. I still, to this day, go back and I just rewatched WandaVision like 2 weeks ago. It's fabulous. Go back and rewatch WandaVision. Highly recommend the experience. It's a fucking amazing show. Now, with Hawkeye was a different experience overall. WandaVision, I didn't realize I should watch them multiple times until the end, and none of the other TV shows warranted the rewatchability. Loki was pretty bad. I liked it, but it wasn't like to my standard.
Loki's
like
my favorite still.
It's understandable. I understand why people like Loki. Just not my favorite thing in the world. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I honestly do think I need a rewatch, to be fair. But yeah, that's just where I'm at. I think I need a rewatch.
That's my biggest disappointment.
With Hawkeye, those first 2 episodes, I think I've seen now like 8 times. Which is fucking insane. That's fine. I love it. I don't love it. I fucking adore it. Hawkeye is my show this year. It is. It beat out everything I have seen so far. Everything. Well, no, that's not true. Arcane is still number 1, but this is a very close second.
I was kind of worried there for a second.
It goes Arcane, Haley Steinfeld. Hawkeye, Haley Steinfeld. Haley Steinfeld, guys. That's just the moral of the story. Dickinson, fucking phenomenal. Haley Steinfeld. I'm just saying. What's the common denominator?
Movies I recommended to you back in 2018. Bumblebee and
Haley Steinfeld. Just saying. All right, back to. So I want to say that I went into this kind of biased. Like I had a feeling I was going to like it. I've always enjoyed Hawkeye as a character. I'm an odd person now, but Black Widow is also one of my favorite MCU characters. So don't judge me too hard. And I always thought Kate Bishop's perfect person to play her would be Haley Steinfeld. And when she got announced as the actual role, it was like a dream come true. And I was like, this is perfect. This is actually perfect. And then it was. I mean, it was. Can I say it again? It fucking was. A lot of people are like, there's not enough Clint. I think there's a perfect amount of Clint in the TV show. I think it's a very even. I think the more characters bringing in, it's a little bit more not fluctuated. But those first 3 episodes, I felt like it was very even. The action sequences are phenomenal. The episodes just keep getting better and better and better, which I think is perfect. Also, because we've had some past failures, I should say, with some other Disney Plus shows, we have learned. And you can really see the fact that they have learned. They were all filmed around the same time, but they somehow learned from one another. Don't ask me. I don't know. Because Hawkeye said, we're going to go there. And they fucking went there. With Maya coming in episode 2, that was quite shocking. Was not prepared. Did not see that one coming. Having my favorite henchmen of all time be in this.
Tracksuit guys.
The tracksuit guys. They're so even good. Better than I thought they would be, and that's saying a lot.
The entire Imagine Dragon conversation between the guy and Kate is so good.
The chemistry between Kate Bishop and Quentin Barton is off the charts. Some of the mystery is pretty foretelling, but I think there's enough heart here that it does not matter
Matter.
that I could guess. Sorry, we're gonna jump into later on spoilers, like episode 4 and 5. You know, the superior
The
episodes.
the entire the entire Christmas celebration they had together, where we taught her how to do the flick thing, was
Oh,
so good.
it's so good. It's so good. And then, okay, so this TV show was already like a favorite. It was already like, oh, this is great.
And then episode
And
4
then
happened.
episode 4 happened, and my princess showed up,
And Jacob
Mrs. Joe.
squealed.
I did. I actually I was okay. This is a funny story. I'll tell the funny story. It's important. It's not, but I'm gonna tell it anyways. I was high when I watched episode 4. I had no idea that Florence Pugh was in episode 4. I had a feeling she was in it, but I didn't know we were actually gonna get to see her. I just thought like a cute little mask, and then she'll be revealed in episode 5. No. I was trying to be as calm as possible the whole time, and I thought I was being calm. My mom later on told me I was squealing like a pig the entire experience. So that's great for everybody involved. And yeah,
Is it
so
though?
when no, it's not. So when Florence Pugh showed up, this solidified as my favorite TV show. That episode I've seen, I think, more than the episodes of 1 and 2. And that, my friend, is saying a lot. All because of Florence Pugh and that amazing action sequence that she was involved in. This last episode, episode 5. Oh
Ronan.
my God.
Yeah.
Zachary texted me, said I was not prepared.
You weren't.
And I didn't understand what he meant. Yet it trended all day, and this was the first episode that trended all day, which I think says a lot out of, all of these. And
Hey Jacob, were you prepared?
I was not prepared. I wish someone would have told me. God
That
damn
entire
it.
opening, I was like, Jacob has no idea what he's in for.
It literally it broke me. That's where I'm at right now. I am broken. I am dead on the floor. Broken. Actually broken.
When she says, "Where's Natasha? I need to tell Natasha I'm okay," I about died.
I cried. I was sat there and I was like, they're really gonna do this because okay, also, I don't think they made it obvious enough that she came back.
I think they did.
No. After we saw that it was the kid, the family, whatever. I'm talking about in the bathroom because when she blipped in the bathroom and it changed like malignant, which I thought was such a cool like little technique and texture. But I thought we were gonna get to see what happens when they blip, since we've never seen what happens when they blip. I think that'd be so fascinating.
Oh,
And so I thought we were following her into the blip. I was like, we don't have time for this, but I'm extremely curious to see what's about to happen. And then it didn't. And so, in that opinion, really, really disappointing. But then she was like, Natasha. And I was like, honey, no, not Natasha. Don't talk about Natasha. And then,
and then Clint's.
hold on. And then they had a whole conversation between Kate and Elena, which is going to be plaguing my head for the next 6 years.
What, the mac and cheese conversation?
It's really good mac and cheese. Like, it's really, really good.
You know, these noodles are the super powered reindeer, Rudolph.
You only have one fork? I live by myself. That's just not proper.
You know what that scene felt like to me? It felt like a Tarantino scene.
Yelena is the person we all needed in our lives. That's just the truth.
Good.
Sure, she can murder us, and she made that very clear. But
Very
also,
clear.
She made us laugh. I was crying. I was laughing. It was a whole moment of experience for me. Okay, but after she's talking about Natasha and how she saved the world. And you know what? And it made me. Oh my God! Am I gonna cry again? I think I might cry again.
You got this, buddy.
I think the reason why this meant so much to me as a fan of Black Widow was because the conversation we had when Endgame actually came out, and that was the simple fact that Natasha never got any recognition. Which, to be fair, I was also on the camp of, well, she doesn't really need it because she lived a secret life. She wouldn't want it because of how secretive of a life that she lived. Yeah. But looking at it from a family standpoint, it is really sad that no one says her name. No
her
one
father and her daughter
her.
never. They felt like she was never mentioned. When she mentioned her dad, oh my God, as dad. Oh,
I was like, did she
dude.
really? Are we going there? Wait, hold on. Alexi, are you here? No, you're not here. That's fine. But also, like, I found the conversation really cute too, with her asking, "Oh, you live in New York. Where would you go? What are some
And
pointers for
Kate looks
you?"
so uncomfortable during this
And,
entire conversation. Mom, let me think here. You gotta go see the tree. The tree.
like a bloodthirsty vigilante would do. A bloodthirsty
There's
vigilante. You would have killed me. Yeah, I would have killed you.
as soon as you walk through that door, yeah, it would have been over.
I could have, I could have,
Are you done with mac and cheese? I can have the hot sauce now. That's great.
I could have killed you. No, you couldn't. And it's just that's the funniest joke you've said all day.
I love the fact that she's calling her Kate Bishop.
Do you just keep saying Kate Bishop because you know everything about me? Yes, I
Yes.
do. I'm quoting it, guys. That's how iconic this episode was. This is going to be, I mean, for me personally, I don't know about other people, this is cemented as one of the single best things I have seen from the MCU. That conversation alone was better than any action sequence I've gotten.
But then you go from that very
I
comedic
know.
connotation between her and Yelena, and then you go to Clint. And when he turned off his earpiece, I was like, it's about to get real here real quick. And that entire I'm not gonna do this again. That entire conversation was just heartbreaking.
I just, once again, I'm just gonna the same thing I was
Oh,
mentioning before is that Natasha just never got really the recognition. Neither did Hawkeye. Neither of them ever got the recognition for what they did and for what they had to go through. And I think I mean, Hawkeye obviously has, but I don't do anything if Natasha was alive and she was walking around. No one would bat an eye. Which, to be fair, I think that's probably what she would want. But
yeah,
also, like, it's really sad, And then you have Yelena who's saying she saved the world, my sister saved the world, and how passionate she is. And then you think about the family scene, the family dinner scene from Black Widow. I believed it was real. I believed, and I'm just like, I know you did, and I believe it too. So good. And then you jump to you have Clint who she's trying to make us believe that he's a bad guy. And I think for some extent that I think he probably is a bad guy, and which we can get into.
yeah.
Uh, you know, like I said,
That entire conversation between Laura and Clint gave me fucking chills.
great. It was great.
It was I
Laurel
love
is
Linda Cardellini. I love the fact that she's not in every episode because when she comes into this show, she stands out every fucking time. She is
and
so good in this show.
she's so playing that character.
I love it to death. I'm so glad they did not get rid of that character at all because she has done so much for the show. The stuff with Clint's family makes me bawl every time. That first scene when he tries to communicate with his son between her and Kate with the paper, it just breaks me every time. Oh,
But on, like I said, on an interesting note though, I do believe that the more and more we jump into darker storylines in the MCU,
hmm
which is obviously where Phase 4 is headed. This has been a common theme for a long time now. Spider-Man No Way Home,
home.
so maybe is a darker movie. I've heard really mixed things. If it's dark, if it's not, I don't really know. I do feel like I'm going to cry. I just don't know why I'm going to cry. That's where I'm at right now. And that's okay. But I do know if Doctor Strange 2 sticks to its guns, it's going to be a very dark film. I don't think it is, but that's fine. You got to appease all the audience members. But with Hawkeye, they're really just going there. And I didn't think that he actually killed Maya's father. So that was a really shocking thing to be revealed tonight. I did believe that Kingpin did have her dad, murdered, but I thought someone else wore the suit and it wasn't actually like
Him.
him doing it. So I found that to be really shocking, and the fact that they were going to go there. And I don't think it would have been as shocking, but because we got to see Maya as a child and what her dad did for her
Yeah.
and how human they made him, I think that was the point of that, was a juxtaposition to this of finding out, yeah, no, I actually
Well,
did kill him, and he
I
wasn't actually
think I
sweet.
think what Yelena said to Kate also, kind of parallels with what Clint was telling to Maya. Just because the word hero doesn't mean that you're a good person. It's just a word.
And
And the way Laura was just okay with him making that judgment call, it just it
it's very
adds so much more to it.
it's very fascinating. It's also, I think I think it's really interesting hearing it from Yelena specifically.
Yeah.
Yelena is a trained mercenary. This is what she does. She's there to murder. I don't think she's going to murder, but she is there to murder.
Hmm.
I but with her specifically, I think it's really interesting for her to be the one to realize, no, this, just because he saved the world does not mean that his ledger doesn't walk around this earth 7 times over. He has murdered
That sounds
so
very
many
Russian,
people.
Jake. That sounds very Russian.
I know, it's great. Thank you. Um, let's see. It's so good. It's so good. And I just I think it's a very interesting conversation, and I don't know if the MCU is ready to have that conversation or not. And so I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. I don't think they have enough time to do anything with it because we
No.
only have one episode left. But
And
this
there's a big shadow laying over episode 6.
a big shadow, which we've not talked about. All right, let's talk about the ending of episode 6. Yelena came in with the goods again because Yelena is the way to go. Sorry, I can't stop myself.
Well,
I
hang
can't.
on. First, let's talk about the fact that they arrested Jack and what I think that means for Kate's story going into the finale. I think that entire arrest right there was a ruse. I think it was fake.
I don't think it was fake.
I think the entire thing was fake. I think both Jack and her mother are in on it together.
Now, okay, so this is the reason why I don't agree with you. There's a few things. Vera Farmiga is a phenomenal
She's
actress.
so fucking good in this show.
She's good no matter where you put her, to be honest with you. But she's a phenomenal actress, which means her face when he says, "I'll be there at that your New Year's Eve party," and her
Christmas
face
party.
looked as this, whatever it is. It's some type of event. Her face wouldn't look that disgusted if it wasn't on purpose. Her face was like, "No, honey, you're going to go to jail." And I do think that was a purposeful look. I do personally think that as she was starting to let her true colors start to show. Also, the swordsman in the comics is actually not a bad guy. He walks the line, but he's mostly does everything for good, which is a really fascinating thing. And so I just think the actor who's playing this character is just having a whole bunch of fun. I
He
think, to be
is.
honest, I think he's just a swell dude. I think he seems like he's not a swell dude, but in reality, we're gonna find out that he really just has kittens in the back room. And he
Yeah.
rescues. That's my personal
He
opinion.
rescues kittens for a living.
But I think, and then I think that she realized that her daughter was getting too close to what she was actually doing, and she had to set something forward so her daughter would drop it because she didn't want her daughter finding out that she is a criminal mastermind type of thing,
Do you
which
think
I
she's
could have
Madam
told
Mask?
you, huh?
Do you think she's Madam Mask?
No, her Kate Bishop's dad, who does not die in the comics, her mom dies in the comics, is actually just like an evil businessman. He doesn't have
Well,
like
I
like
know,
a
I know what Sloan. I know what Sloan is. Daredevil deals with Sloan Industries a lot in the comics.
and so that's who she's playing. It's not like Madame Mask or anything.
Speaking of the man without fear,
Speaking of it, so at the very end of the episode, we got some text messages and a reveal. A reveal that me and Tim both looked at each other and said, "Is that Vincent D'Onofrio?" To
it is.
once again, huh?
It is Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, I know. To once again to be told it is Vincent D'Onofrio over the end credits because we truly believed it wasn't because it looks nothing like him. Like truly, go look at that photo. Does not look like Vincent D'Onofrio at all. But that's fine. That's okay.
Doesn't matter. It's him.
Kingpin is back.
It's so weird hearing those words.
And once again, another actor ruined the reveal. As we truly would have no idea.
Yeah. But no, what made this even better for me, knowing that he revealed it, was like, man, I'm so happy Charlie Cox is still their Daredevil. Good for him. Very happy for him. I hope I get to see him soon. Wink, wink, wink.
He also, I really enjoyed, with that being said, how he did shout out that they shouldn't forget Deborah Ann Wool
Oh,
as
and
Karen.
in Foggy.
No, he didn't shout out Foggy. He just shouted out Karen. That's the only other person. He was oh, good for you, Charlie Cox, but also don't forget Karen.
I want Vanessa. I want Kingpin. I want Foggy. I want Karen, and I want Matt. Those are the 5 I want. Now, here is the real kicker. I listened to John Campio's show earlier, and I wanted to talk to you about this specifically because it goes in with this. We have seen media before where you have two of an actor play the same character twice, but they're very different iterations of the character. When you look at Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage, the first film and the quote unquote remake, it's still Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, but they're 2 very different entities. Grand Admiral Thrawn in Star Wars, he is different from his Heir to the Empire books as he is in the Rebels and now Ahsoka Tano series. I don't think this is the Netflix Kingpin. I think it's Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, but I think it's a different take on Kingpin from Vincent D'Onofrio. It's not the Netflix one, because if it was the Netflix one, I just got done watching the finale of season 3. They would have a lot of explaining to do, like how to get out of jail.
Which they could explain.
They could explain. I don't think it's Netflix Kingpin. I think it's a different version of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin.
I think we'll just have to wait
and see.
Out.
But dude, him standing there in the white suit with the black with the black shirt, the black tie, and the ruby cane. I about died and fell off my bed. If we see Charlie Cox's Daredevil for a split second Wednesday,
it's not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, I'm going to see him tonight.
No, not necessarily.
Possibly. I said that. I can't believe I said that tonight.
Maybe.
No, I'm seeing Spider-Man tonight.
Maybe.
That's what I was saying. I have my ticket. Don't do that to me, man.
Either way, we should probably wrap this up.
Hawkeye's great. Go watch Hawkeye.
If you're going to watch it for anything, just go watch it for Ford's Pew. It's worth it.
Hot sauce.
Like, I called my sister afterwards, and I was like, Peyton, what? Florence Pugh's back. And she's like, where? And I was like, in Hawkeye. And she's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to tackle that. And I was like, but I want her to watch the scene.
You broke into my house. I did not break into your house. No, I did not.
It's so good. It's so good. Everything about it's great. Oh my God, I want to watch it. No, Jacob, you have so many other things, but honestly, I could have probably just
Jacob.
A quick little view.
Jake.
Either way, let's move on over to. We'll go here. That's fine. Then we'll end with there. We're not gonna go there.
We don't have to do the other one tonight.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there. So we missed it. It's fine. With movie commentaries, we did announce this movie commentary, but we have a date now, which is nice. We are going to be watching. Yes. Oh, do you want to announce it? You can announce it.
No, you can.
No, it's fine.
I just want to say the date.
Well, what's the date?
Monday, December 21st?
20th. Don't get it wrong. Monday,
December 20th. Jacob, what are we watching?
Matrix Resurrection?
Revolutions.
There we go.
Jacob's favorite Matrix film.
You keep saying this, but it's such a bullshit lie. Could be. Who knows? I don't. I will know soon. I don't think it is. I'm just going to be honest with you. But, I could be wrong. Is it really 2.5 hours long?
It's 2:45.
No, it's not. They did not release movies that long back then, Zachary.
It's like 2:30 something.
Because I laugh, it's like 2:12.
No, it's long.
Or does it feel long? Because I've been there too. Damn. Okay. Do you really want to know?
It's like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
It's 2 hours and 9.
Oh man, I'm not ready for this commentary.
Bitch, you are so wrong. Okay, with the original Matrix is 2 hours and 16 minutes. The second Matrix, this is probably the one you were more thinking of, is 2 hours and 18 minutes, and then we dropped out. No one's complaining. And then the new one is 2 hours and 28 minutes.
Maybe
But
that's what I'm thinking of.
it could be long, and it could be bad. Honestly, I'm really nervous about that one. That's besides the point. All right. That's a movie commentary.
All right, and that's the podcast.
Well,
We got a lot. We got a lot done.
We have our final segments, I agree.
No, I thought we said we were not going to do that tonight.
I wasn't going to do this one. We're going to do this one.
Oh.
What have you been watching? I mean, we already basically talked about everything, but anything
Hawkeye.
special?
Nothing particular. I have the finale of Survivor to watch. Well, the episode in the finale tonight to watch.
Ooh, should I look up who won and tell you right now?
No! Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching Weekend Movie Bros. We'll see you guys later. Make sure to like, rate, subscribe, comment. We'll see you all next week.
I'm joking. Stop it, asshole. So, I have been watching Spider-Man. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Normally, that's an interesting segment, guys. We just don't really have. Oh my god, I take that back. I have something to talk about. What? I started, and just like that, the Peloton.
And just like that, Jacob doesn't like it.
No, I don't like it. I want to.
So how much of that do we have to talk about right now?
Well, let's just say you should look up the commercial with the Peloton bike, and that's all I'm gonna say. If you know.
Besides that, Jacob, collectively, what have we been watching? Spider-Man.
Fine, say your fucking outro.
As always, guys, thank you very much for coming in and hanging out with us today. Make sure you let us know what's going on in your world and all that kind of fun stuff. Like, rate, subscribe, hit the comment button. Make sure to go follow us on Spotify. You're giving me so much weird vibes here. Do you want me to speed up? Or do you want me to... What do you want me to do here? I had no idea what the messages were here. Like I was saying the outro, you're like, pick it up a little bit. So I did. You're like, tone it down a little bit more. Like, what do you want from me here?
You had zero enthusiasm when you started, so I was just trying to be like, but you kept raising every time I raised my fingers. I wonder if I go down, he'll go down.
I didn't know what you meant. It's like you're like playing an orchestra over there, like la 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 la. No.
Okay, do you want to start over?
Sure. As always, guys, make sure to like, rate, subscribe, hit that comment section. Do all that fun stuff. We're still trying to do this crap. Thank you for watching season 4, episode 1 of Weekend Movie Bros podcast, and we'll see you in 2 days for the Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler review. Jacob, take it away.
I don't know why he just said 2 days. I don't know when that's going to go up. Don't listen to him. Oh, he's dying.